هي قالوا صرفوا عليها
The first lecture for today is about ergonomics. You know all about ergonomics, and I will only mention a few points, and I want to get feedback from you and your points of views about ergonomics. Before entering the main discussion, I have two questions. First, why do we talk about ergonomics in laboratory? Why? Can you tell me why did we not talk about ergonomics in open surgery? At least give me two reasons.
The vision study is in two dimensions, but it's still three dimensional. The camera is on its side for view. The open can be seen from any side.
Our vision is limited in laparoscopy because it's too deep, and overall, laparoscopy is more difficult than open surgery. That is why we have to plan for correct ergonomy so that work can be done. Another question is, if we do not observe ergonomy, and we do not follow the rules of ergonomy, what will happen? Can we not operate? Is it impossible to operate?
No, difficult.
Yes, it is not impossible, but it's very difficult. The operation will be lengthy, we will lose our concentration, and we are more prone to mistakes and more complications. But it is not impossible to do the operation. It is for making the operation easier. It is for this that the laparoscopy is done. No one says, oh, it's a long procedure, it's difficult, it takes a long time, the patient will have complications. It must be easy, everyone is ready for it, and it should be better than an open procedure. Okay, I will skip these definitions, but only one of them I think is the best. The study of work and working conditions in order to improve people's efficiency. This is exactly what we want to gain from the study of ergonomics. We want to make the work more efficient. We want to get not tired. We want to do more operations in a more limited time. This is the aim of ergonomics. Ergonomics is in our, we use it in our everyday works. As you see, for people who have back pain, we must change the ergonomy. This, in the first, you see this correct lifting techniques, and the right side, the incorrect lifting techniques. It's the same in laparoscopy and operations. Even open operations, you have many ergonomic rules to observe. But today, we will talk about these topics: lighting, monitor situation, patient stable height, targets and diamond constant, instrument handles, and cables, tubes, and foot pedals. About all of these we will have a few points. As about lighting, the lighting of the operation site is one of the most important advantages of laparoscopy. As Dr. Bazooki said on the first stage, the light goes wherever the surgeon looks, and this is very good. But in open surgery, we must change the light, and it is a bit disadvantageous. But the lighting of the operating site is very important. Sometimes operation of the lighting of the operation room must be discussed also. Sometimes in the past days, the first days of laparoscopy, the ceiling lights were turned off to have a better view of the monitor. This is not a good practice. This leads to hazards. The scrub nurse will not see the table correctly. People who come and go, the anesthesia, they cannot see their instruments correctly. They may use incorrect drugs, and mistakes happen. So this practice is not correct. This,
Please emphasize on this point.
okay.
They used to switch off the lights of the whole room, dark except the monitor. Please repeat it again.
This is incorrect because it leads to hazards and accidents. People who come and go, they may trip on the cables. The cables may be cut off, and the anesthesia colleagues, when they want to take their drugs, they may take the mistaken drugs because they cannot read it. We have turned off the lights, they cannot read it. And this leads to anesthesia accidents too. And these events have caused us to condemn turning off the lights. The lights must be on. Only the direct light on the patient will be turned off. So everyone can see the floor and can read any drug that he wants to take and inject to the patient. It must be seen. This is very important that in the past it was done, but it is not longer recommended. The monitor situation. The monitor situation was discussed, but I will emphasize it once again. And when the surgeon or anybody wants to look at a monitor, the spinal column must be straight. If it is like this, if it stands like this, it will cause stress on his spinal column. His surgical life will become short if he does this. The best position is for the spinal column to be straight, and the neck should gaze straight but 15 degrees lower, not completely straight. If the monitor is high, he must look like this. He will have neck extension and neck pain. If it is lower, he will have flexion and it will cause pain also. And as I said, his surgical life will be shorter, and laparoscopy will be hard for him. So it is very important. As you see, we should have monitors that can be adjusted. Ideally, they should be fixed to the ceiling, so they can take them down and up. One surgeon is tall, one surgeon is short. So it must be adjusted to what the surgeon wants. And there is also the cameraman, the camera person. One surgeon stands here, the camera person will stand another place, and both of them must have an optimal view. The surgeon may be tall, the cameraman may be short, so they must have, ideally, they must have two cameras, and they must two monitors, and they must be adjusted. For trolleys that are not adjustable, it is a disadvantage to the surgeon. However, even those trolleys that are not fixed to the ceiling, they can have some degrees of up and down motion. The surgeon should use it to his own advantage, so he will have less stress on his neck and spinal column.
So surgeon can't be adjusted.
The surgeon, yes, sometimes. The surgeon can be taken up, but it cannot be taken down. If he is short, it can be fixed. But if he is tall, there is no other way. Okay. One more point that the viewing distance, the distance of the surgeon to the monitor. The distance of the surgeon to the monitor, if the surgeon's eyes are good, no refractory problems exist, it should be 4 to 5 times the distance of the monitor. If the monitor is, for example, 10 inches, the surgeon must be 40 to 50 inches from the monitor. But if he has refractory problems in his eyes, uses glasses or does not use his glasses, this may be adjusted. But for the normal person, this is the rule of thumb. The next variable, the table's height. How much should the table be? This is the same in open surgery also. In open surgery, the table must be usually to the waist of the surgeon. It must be elevated to the waist of the surgeon. For a short surgeon, it will be less. For a tall surgeon, it will be higher. Why? Because the most comfortable position for working is when the elbows are 90 to 120 degrees flexed. If we do it like this, it will cause fatigue. If we do it like this, it will be more hard. The neutral position for us is this position.
Measuring of angle.
What?
The angle.
120.
90 degrees to 120. This is the ideal position for the surgeon. Less or more than this will cause fatigue. So the height must be, sometimes the patient is very fat. When the patient goes on the table, the patient's skin goes high. So this must be a little lower. To adjust this angle must be adjusted. Sometimes the table should be go down from the patient's waist, because we usually sometimes operate on very fat patients. We must know this, that for fat patients the table may go more down, but the patient himself or herself must be at his height.
Is it affected by the type of operation? For example, patients with ventral hernia, we want to fix just like this, by that way. It makes difference.
Yes, it makes difference, especially for fat patients, that the anterior and posterior wall are far from each other. When you want to go up or want to go down, yes, it makes a difference. But the best criteria is this angle. This is the most important criteria. If this is correct, everything is correct. If it's not, it's not right. Do you want to add something? It depends. It depends on the patient's height also, and the surgeon's height, both. Okay, the other matter that I want to discuss is the target concept. What is the target concept? The target concept is exactly what God has created for us. God has created our eyes in the middle and our hands in the both sides, right? Our hands are not this way and our eyes that way. God has created this. Our hands are in the middle, our eyes are in the middle, and our hands are on the sides. So we can see everything and manipulate everything very well. In laparoscopy, the same rule must be followed. If the camera is on one side and the surgeon's hands are on one side, this principle will be violated. For this reason, the camera must be between the surgeon's right and left hands. Or not, this God-created principle will be violated, and the mistakes will happen. However, sometimes this is not an absolute rule. Sometimes, in some circumstances, we may have to change it. But usually, this is the usual principle that we must. As you see, the surgeon's camera port. The surgeon's camera port is in the middle. His right hand is here, his left hand is here, and this is the target concept. And the other matter is that the target is in a line drawn from the surgeon to the camera, and it reaches the target. Can I write all this? And you see this more. from this principle, we go to another principle, the coaxial alignment. The coaxial alignment follows the target and diamond principle. For a better illustration, I will put a diagram on the. Can we have half of it?
Yes.
As I said, this is the surgeon. This is the patient. This is the camera board. This is the patient, right? The surgeon's right hand. The surgeon's left hand. And this is the target, the organ that is being operated. This line, A. This line, B, and the monitor. This line, C, must all be in one direction. All of it must be on one line. If it is not on one line, it will cause complications. It will cause complications. This is a coaxial alignment. Coaxial alignment principle. And this is the target principle. As you see, this is the, I'm sorry, this is the target principle. Target or diamond principle. As you see, in the next slide it is shown better. As you see, for example, if we are working on a hiatal hernia, this is the target, this is where the telescope is put, this is the left hand, this is the right hand. For the patient, for the surgeon to be comfortable, this distance should be 15 centimeters. It should be, I don't know what they call it in English, but in Persian and Arabic it must be the same. It must be متوازي الأضلاع. متوازي الأضلاع.
عربي أم مصري؟
عربي. متوازي الأضلاع.
متوازي الأضلاع.
متوازي الأضلاع.
هو دائما يعني هرمي.
متوازي الأضلاع. And about 15 centimeters, this must be. This must be about 10 to 15. And this also 10 to 15. Depending on the patient's size, this may vary. Okay. The size of the cables is not important, I will skip that. Cables and tubes. We'll talk about cables and tubes. I don't want that to The cables and tubes, one of the things that causes trouble in the operating room is so many cables and tubes. They they are difficult to handle. They must be ergonomically placed, and for every operation, every specific operation, there is a certain way of fixing these cables. But the most important principles are that the cable for the camera and the light source must have enough room for maneuvering of the surgeon. The surgeon should be able to move it without any pulling on the cables. And usually for energized instruments like the electrophotometry or the ligature and things like that, usually the cables should come from the most direct side. For example, in cholecystectomy, when the surgeon wants to use the epigastric port, it is better to bring the cable of the electrosurgery from the opposite side. No, from the head side of the patient. it will interfere less with the operating field. If it comes from the foot, you will have the cable all over the body of the patient and it's always in your hands. You must put it somewhere that is away from your hands. It should be interfere as less as possible. And this is about cables, and the companies are working very hard to reduce the number of these cables. And now the new laparoscopes are available that the camera and the light cables are one. So one of the cables can be reduced. Also for energized instruments like harmonic, they have manufactured and it is available without any, yes, wireless, without any cables and only batteries on the handle of the harmonic scalpel, and it can be used much more easily than the old ones. This is the foot pedal. One other reason that causes that may cause instability for the surgeon is the pedals. The foot pedals, when used, causes stress on the other foot of the surgeon, on the knee of the surgeon. If he uses his right foot, he must shift his weight on his left foot, and so when the time goes on, his left knee will be injured. So the companies are trying to take away the foot cables and put hand switches. Hand switches is much more easier for the surgeon, and the surgeon can straight square. He must not shift his weight to left or right. And this is an important thing to consider when we are buying equipment for the operating room. Okay, the last, I think this is the last slide, is about the posture of the surgeon, which I told you. This is the correct posture. The spinal column must be straight, the gaze must be straight, but 15 degrees downward. But if it is not like this, for example, something is put between the surgeon and the patient. Something is put between the surgeon and the patient, he should reach for the patient. This is not correct. This will cause back problems, and as I said, the surgeon's life will be reduced. And as you see, this one of the great places for examining ergonomy is this workplace. You can adjust it and see that in what position you are more easier. The surgeon's neutral position is directly as I have standing. If it is higher or lower, it will affect. And one other point is for the wrist. The wrist must be like this, or a little bit flexed. It should never be like this. If it is like this for many minutes, it will be injured. Like this also. It should be neutral or a little bit flexed. And when the surgeon is standing, his palms should be like this. Like this, it will cause stress on the wrist, and like this also. It should be like this. This is the ideal position for the surgeon. And these are the principles. And when we will talk about specific operations, we will talk about hand level and finger level. What? Hand level and finger level. How on the handle? Yes. The handle should be taken like this. Should be taken like this.
A little long.
Yes, should be taken.
Somebody's used it like this.
It's not ergonomic, but sometimes when you have to go down or it interferes with the light cable, you have no choice other than do this. This is istisna.
Exception.
It's an exception because interference with the other instruments. But this is the standard position. It must be taken like that. But as I said, sometimes it may interfere with the light cable or
the table or the patient's body, and you have no choice for it. But what is the disadvantage? It definitely is a disadvantage. And when we talk about specific operations, we will talk about the specific ergonomic points for that operations. This was the principles. Do you have any comments, Dr. Safa?
About the port side, just talking about the conflict between the assistant port and the camera port and certain arms.
When we use the diamond principle or the target principle, it's the same. If we use this, there will be no conflict. As I said, this is the mutawazi al-azla, this should be 15, and this should also be about 50. If this rule is observed, the conflict will be minimal. But if not, their conflict will happen. As you know better than me, in all operations, we cannot have this ideal configuration. For example, in cholecystectomy, this is not possible. But for many operations like appendectomy, for herniatomy or herniorrhaphy, or for this hiatal hernia, chondroplegia, it is possible. So we will always try to apply it standard. But sometimes, due to some operation and anatomical variations, we have to change it. Okay, I don't have any comments. Do you have any comments?
We have two operations. We must change our position. For the right, we must stand on the left.
Yes.
And for the left, we stand to the right. So we must change our position during the operation.
Yes. Ideally, we should do that. And sometimes we may have to put another trocar to maintain the diamond concept. Yes. And that is one of the advantages of those monitors that are attached to the ceiling. If the monitor is attached to the ceiling, you bring the monitor to the right or left of the patient easily. But if it is a trolley, everything must be moved and must be unplugged. All of the cords must be down, and then once again it must be attached. That's a disadvantage. Okay, I want to go to the next lecture, if you are ready. It's about herniorrhaphy, hernia operation done with laparoscopy. If you can bring the yes.
Yes.
I will talk about laparoscopic angular hernia repair, and there are two videos that I believe are very, very important, and the key steps in the operation are shown in this video. I will talk about the principles, and then we will go on to the videos. One video is for direct inguinal hernia, and one is for indirect inguinal hernia. They have a difference. Direct is easier, much more easier. Indirect is a bit more difficult. We will see the direct first, and then we will see the indirect, and I will talk about the differences and some ergonomic principles in the operation. We will skip the operations, you know, about the introduction, the reasons, and the indications. The indications I will talk about. The indications of laparoscopy for inguinal hernia are clear, because many studies have been done to compare open repair with laparoscopic. There is no important difference between these two methods. Only there are few patients who will benefit more from laparoscopy, but the usual patient, the male who has a unilateral hernia and it is primary, will not benefit much from laparoscopy. So we can do whatever method we are comfortable with. But there are three groups
who will benefit from laparoscopy. First, those who have bilateral hernia, because bilateral hernia can be done in one operation, and the pain is much less than the open hernia. If we do bilateral hernia by open method, the pain will be more, and this is the disadvantage. So one group, patients who have bilateral inguinal hernia. The second group are those who have a recurrent inguinal hernia after an anterior open operation. We have done Bassini, we have done Liechtenstein, or whatever method that is done anteriorly, and the patient has had a recurrence. For this patient, laparoscopy is very good, and he will benefit from laparoscopy. Cord injury, testicular atrophy, these will be reduced very much. So for this second group, it is very good. The third group who will benefit from laparoscopy are patients who have laparoscopy for another reason. For example, a hiatal hernia. He also has an inguinal hernia. It is very advantageous to do it with laparoscopy. So, inguinal hernia is not a routine operation for the surgeon who does not do laparoscopy regularly. Hernia is for those surgeons who are dedicated to laparoscopy. Okay? But for these three groups, laparoscopy is better than open surgery. The anatomy I will not show, you know it better than me. I will skip this anatomy, but the anatomy from the inside is very important because we were trained by open surgery and we know the anatomy from anterior, but from the posterior, we need to review it once more. There are important structures with which the surgeon will orientate himself to what he should do. The most important is the midline structure. It is easy to find and it is important for orientation. What is this? This line, median, like this. The median umbilical ligament. It is the remnant of the uterine duct. Yes, the uterus. And it is always evident. You can always find it and find where is the midline. There are two more ligaments that are important too. These dashed lines. One is medial and one is lateral. They call the medial one the medial umbilical ligament and the lateral one the lateral umbilical ligament. They are usually, they can be seen, but not always. Sometimes in thin patients we cannot find it. But they have important structures in it. The medial umbilical ligament, what does it contain? Yes, the embryonic remnant of the umbilical artery. Yes, it is usually obliterated, but sometimes it may be open and it may bleed sometimes if we damage it. The lateral ligament, what does it contain? The lateral umbilical ligament, inferior epigastric artery and vein, which is always open and always it has blood, and we must be careful to not injure it. Okay. If we look from inside, and you will see clearly on the video, we have three potential sites for herniation: G, F, and E. E is the indirect site because it is lateral to the lateral umbilical ligament, right? Yes. F is the direct because it is medial to the lateral umbilical ligament. G is suprapubic. This G is very important. This G is very important because usually recurrences are from this one, so the supravesical area. When we do anterior or laparoscopic, it does not matter. And we have a recurrence, it is usually here. And we must look for the supravesical hernia. And it is important to correct it. I do not want to talk about recurrent inguinal hernia in laparoscopy because it will be very long. But
Maybe a side of the femoral.
the femoral canal, the femoral is below this line. This is the inguinal or iliopubic tract is below this. However, the supravesical area is very important, especially if you are doing a recurrent case. Usually the recurrence is from that area. Or because in the first operation we have not covered that area good. This is an area that sometimes we may not cover completely. This is the same anatomy but on the patient. As you see, what is this? This midline structure that attaches to the bladder. Urachus. This is the medial and this is the lateral umbilical ligament. This is the site of the indirect hernia, site of direct and site of supravesical hernia. And as you see, there are a few important structures. This is the vas deferens. This is the spermatic cord, and between this, it is very important. Between this triangle, we have one. We have what?
Dome?
Yes, dome. What does a dome contain? Yes. What is inside it? Iliac vessels and vein. So in here, no tacking should be done. If it is done, it will bleed very much. And one of the complications of hernia surgery in the hands of inexperienced surgeons is this. They may injure the iliac arteries and it is a catastrophe. I cannot say never, I've had one case. But in open surgery, it usually, or rarely, very rarely. So this is an important. What about this? These two structures, this structure and this. These are nerves. Yes, ilioinguinal nerve and lateral cutaneous nerve. In this area, pain. Yes, the triangle of pain. If we tack in here, we may injure these nerves, and the patient will have neuralgia, shooting pain, and he will say a burning sensation in his thigh, and this is very bothersome. It is very bothersome. It also happens in open surgery, but in laparoscopic surgery, we should never tack below this inguinal ligament or the iliopubic tract. Never. Are there any comments? Triangle of doom and triangle of pain I talked about. This is the same anatomy I will for the operation of hernia, and I apologize for going for this. It's not very interesting for you. We have two methods.
We want pelvic anatomy.
Yes,
Sorry.
a bit of pelvic anatomy was in it.
You also have
Show that previous. That is not.
Go back.
important for them.
I will go back. This is the same. This is we are looking from inside once again. It's the same diagram, but a little bit more detailed. As you see, this is the pubic tubercle, the P. The P is the tubercle. This is the bone, and above the bone is the Cooper ligament. We will see it in the videos, the Cooper ligament. This is the site of the direct hernia. This is the epigastric artery and vein, and this is where the internal ring, that the vas deferens from the medial and the spermatic artery and vein from lateral join and enter the internal ring, and this is the site of the indirect hernia. And as you see, in this triangle, we have the iliac vessels and lateral femoral cutaneous nerve, which is very. No.
What is this?
And this is the femoral fossa. Just beneath the bone. Just beneath the bone, we will have the site for femoral herniation.
Can I magnify the picture?
Sure.
Magnify the
So really sure. For the gynecologist, it's very important to know the course of anterior gastric vessels, and it's very important to know the type of iliac vessels in order to avoid them during insertion of the port or insertion of the needle. It's very important. When you manipulate the ovary, you are nearby the internal vein vessels. And when you want to insert the board, sometimes you insert the board in an oblique way. You are just nearby, or you might injure the inferior gastric artery. So it's very important to know the landmarks of anatomy. Triangle of death and mean.
Okay, to the next. There are two methods, as I said, for inguinal herniorrhaphy in laparoscopy. One is the totally extraperitoneal tip, and what is the total transabdominal preperitoneal tap. I will talk about tap. Tap is more widespread. Most surgeons use tap, especially for a wall tip. Some surgeons thought it was better, but now they don't think so. Either tap or tip, whichever you are more comfortable with it, you can use. We are more comfortable with tap, and I will talk about tap, which is more widespread. Most surgeons use this. This is the position of the patient. The patient is on the table, and they are on the contralateral side of the hernia. If the hernia is on the right, the left hand, it's on the left, the right hand is by the side of the patient. Because, as I talked about ergonomy, the surgeon must be comfortable when he wants to operate. As I will show you, for example, as you see in this picture, one hand is on the side and this hand is on the board for the anesthesiologist to use IV lines and drugs. And the surgeon wants to operate on this side. If the surgeon goes on that side, this will interfere with the patient. The picture I showed you that the surgeon was like this. This will happen. The armboard will be here, and the surgeon cannot go close to the table, and it is non-ergonomic. Always, for appendectomy, it is the same. The armboard on the contralateral side, where the surgeon wants to stand, must be taken, and the patient's arm must be by his side. This is the position of the surgical team and port position. This is exactly the diamond position that I said. For hernia on the left, you see this is the diamond position. This is the camera, right hand and left hand, and the surgeon stands here. So the surgeon, coaxial alignment. This axis, and the monitor will be here. Everything is in the same line. So ergonomy is the best.
The same ovarian cyst.
The same as ovarian cyst is the same. Yes, this ovarian cyst is also the same. This is for bilateral hernia. It is a bit modified because we do not want to add another trocar. If we want to add another trocar, we can, but we don't want to. A little bit, we bother ourselves, and we use only 3. For bilateral ovarian cyst, this is the same position. The camera this side and on the both sides, and both hands are on the side because the surgeon must change his side. And ideally, the monitor must be here for the first phase of the operation and then taken to the other side. If the monitor is not movable, it must be at the foot of the patient. So it will be least ergonomic. It will be non-ergonomic, but we will take it to minimum. Yes, that's it. This is the position for the right inguinal hernia. And the first part of the operation is incising the peritoneum overlying the hernial sac. We start from one side and go to the other side. As you see, we start from about 2 centimeters medial from the anterior superior iliac spine, and then we must be at least 3 centimeters above the hernial sac. We must not go close to it. If we go close to it, you know, the principle for hernia operation is we must have at least 3 centimeters around the hernial orifice and put a mesh that will cover this. If the coverage is less than 3 centimeters, we will have recurrences. So at least 3 centimeters higher from the side of the hernial orifice. If the hernial orifice is big, we must go higher. If it is not big, we can go a bit lower. At least 3 centimeters must be observed. And till where we go, we usually go to we pass the lateral umbilical ligament, and we must be careful to not injure the epigastric artery and vein, and we go to the medial umbilical ligament, and we stop there. Usually the visualization is enough. When this is incised, this must be brought down. This must be brought down. And usually we do the lateral part first. We make it 3 phases. First, the lateral, then the medial, and then the site of the hernia. It will be easier when we do this. If we go first for the hernial sac, it will be difficult because both sides are still attached. When it is brought down, reducing the hernia sac will be easier. The lateral flap is usually done very thin. We go right on the peritoneum. Why? Because as we saw, and it is here depicted, we have the nerves under this. If we go towards the abdominal wall, we will injure the nerves. We will go toward the peritoneum. We will not make a thick flap. If we make a thick flap, we will enter the abdominal wall and will injure the nerves. So the lateral dissection is close to the peritoneum. But on the medial side, we want to see the bone and the Cooper ligament. Because we want to see the abdominal wall and there is no nerves there, we go closer to the abdominal wall. The flap on the medial side is thicker. Okay? When we take these two, we are ready for the hernia sac. Both sides are ready, and we take down the hernia sac. One thing that we must be careful about, we never see it in open surgery, but in laparoscopic surgery, is this corona mortis vein. This corona mortis vein is a vein on the pubic bone that is about 10 to 15% of people. It's anastomosis to the inferior epigastric vein and to the iliac vein. If we injure it, it will have much bleeding. In 10 to 15% of people, it is present. We must be careful. Medial to the indirect sac, we will find this in 15% of the people. And then the hernia sac is dissected, which I will show you videos about how it is done. And then we choose a mesh. The mesh is many configuration. About the dimensions of the mesh, many authors have different opinions. But all of them are common in that this must be 15 centimeters. Less than 15 is not acceptable. We put the patient at risk of recurrence. About this, there is controversy. Some insist on 15, some accept 10. Certainly less than 10 is not acceptable. Between 10 and 15, it depends on the surgeon's experience, on the patient's size. Between 10 and 15 is acceptable. And usually at this side, the inferolateral side, because the psoas muscle is present, we will we'll take cut some of the mesh away. So it will fall right on the abdominal wall. If it is not cut, it will fall on the psoas muscle and it will not help us. For easier application of the mesh, this will help. About 2/3, we put it 3 parts from the medial part, we cut to half of this. This is 1/3. If this is 15, this should be from 5 to the middle of the lateral part. It is usually done like this. And the fixation of the mesh, I will show you. This is the picture fixation of the mesh. We will see it on the videos. And for bilateral hernias, it is the same. It is the same, only 2 meshes. The middle will be attached to each other, like a butterfly. It will be like a butterfly, and this is the medial umbilical ligament. These 2, we have not cut them. It is pulled toward us, and the back is dissected. And this will keep the mesh in place. It will help us. And at the end of the procedure, we have pulled down the peritoneum. We must attach it once again. There are 2 options. We can do it by suturing, or we can do it by tacker. This is done by tacker, this is done by suturing. It is up to us, whatever method we can use. The result must be that the peritoneum must completely cover the mesh. Because the mesh, if not covered, the intestines will adhere to it, and fistulas may occur. Okay, let's go to the films. This one. And I've put these films on the desktop. You can use them. You can use them. I had also other films with me about adrenalectomy, about bypass, and they are on it. I'm sorry, I did not have distal pancreatectomy is on the desktop. Take the sound away so we can. Take the sound away.
No sound?
No sound. We will get your comments. As you see, these structures help us to orientate ourselves with where is the hernia, and you go but no sound. You go but no sound, and as you see, this is the hernia. This is the hernia, and this is the medial umbilical ligament. Medial?
Left side. Left side.
Yes. And the point that they will select, they will use the umbilicus for entering the first camera, as you see. This is the umbilicus, and it is used for the cameral port, and a line will be drawn from the. Can you stop it one moment? This is a line that is drawn from the umbilicus. One port, the port on the patient's other side will be 1 to 2 centimeters lower, and the port on the hernia side will be 1 to 2 centimeters higher. In the middle clavicular line or anterior clavicular line. It depends on the patient's size. When the surgeon must put the cameral port and then go on the patient. A very, very important lesson that I have learned is that port positions are not predetermined. we always say this exact point you should put the port. It depends on the patient's size also and the anatomy. You put the camera port inside, look around, and then go on the patient and see how will you stand. It will be easier for you. Between the mid-clavicular line and the anterior clavicular line, 1 to 2 centimeters up or down of that line that has been taken, you can go. You will put the ports. So you will have the best ergonomic position for working. And he is showing that 1 centimeter higher and 1 centimeter lower for the left side of the patient. He is putting that.
The same can be applied when you operate for ovarian.
Exactly. The ovarian port position is exactly the same. As you see, this is the lateral, the umbilical ligament. This is the anterior superior iliac spine, 2 centimeters medial. He's finding the point for starting his dissection. Can you take it faster?
He's making marks.
Yes, he's making marks. Here is a very, very important ergonomic lesson that I want to talk about it. Will you please stop it for a moment? This is a very important ergonomic principle that he is showing. And that is, when you want to cut something, a surgeon always cuts away from himself. A surgeon who is right-handed cuts from right to left. He never cuts from left to right. If he does this, he will not have good control. It will be hard for him and he may have complications. So, as you see, this is a left hernia. He is starting from the medial side of the patient, right? But if he will be doing an operation on the right side, he will start from the lateral to the medial. This is very important. Always be ready to cut from, if you are right-handed, from the right to the left, and you are left-handed from the left to the right. If you do it the opposite, you will have, it's the same in open surgery too. In open surgery was go like this. If we go like this for a right-handed person, it will be awkward and it will be hard for us. He will go to the predetermined place about 2 centimeters medial to the anterior superior iliac spine. As you see this, this is the spermatic cord. It can be seen, the spermatic cord. For better visualization, he will cut by the medial umbilical ligament so he can separate it more and clearly see what is behind. Okay, the flap is complete. The hernia is visible, the hernia orifice is visible, and he will now start to dissect it and bring it down. As you see here, this is the medial part. He's going toward the abdominal wall because he wants to see the structures on the abdominal wall. He wants to find the Cooper ligament. That is why he goes into the abdominal wall. He stays closer to the abdominal wall. He's looking for the Cooper ligament. See, here the Cooper ligament is showing itself.
Indicator for Cooper ligament white color, sir?
What?
Indicator for Cooper ligament white color?
White color, yes. It's completely white. It's completely white. And this is the hernia orifice. It has been reduced. I will tell you why this was reduced. Because this is an easy case. As I told you, this is a direct case. It's very easy. It's very easy, but the indirect is more hard. The next video will be indirect. As you see, this is very thin. You see, the lateral part is thin. It does not go toward the abdominal wall because it will injure the nerve. It is very thin. And now that he has done the left and right, he will clean the spermatic cord so the mesh will completely cover.
That is the neck. The left side, the neck.
نقول لك
يقول النجف. That's one.
As you see, he did the medial part and then the lateral part, and then he went toward the spermatic cord attachment. This is the spermatic cord. He is bringing them down, so the peritoneum will be. And now he looks to see if everything is reduced.
You mean the buzz difference?
The buzz and the spermatic cord and the spermatic artery and vein. Both are. This is an important maneuver that he is he is now he wants to put the mesh. The mesh, as we told, he will cut it. This dimension must always be 15. It should never be less than 15, but the height 10 to 15. It depends on the patient's size and how much you have dissected the patient. A very important thing that the dissection must be enough, so the lower edge will not be curved. If it will be curved like this, the hernia will recur. It must be like this, free. It should not, the peritoneum must not be big. And it is rolled and it is put inside the patient. It cannot be done from the 5mm port. So the telescope must be brought out and it should go from the telescope port.
Cigarette.
Yes, like a cigarette. In my experience, if this is wetted, it will go inside very more easily.
By what? By normal or?
And he aims to put it right inside the defect. He knows where the defect is. And then he will apply it to the wall. What is this? What is this?
This is the medial
umbilical. He pushes it back so it will go and it will cover the supravesical space. The supravesical space that I said was very important and the recurrences occur from there. It must be completely. And here, one very important thing is fixing the mesh. And a very important maneuver is the mesh must be fixed to the Cooper ligament. But if you first fix it to the Cooper ligament, and then the position cannot be controlled. First we will fix it at here. And then we fix it at the upper part of the dissection, we can control the other parts much more easily.
Sir, I don't see hernia content.
It was reduced. I told you this was an easy case. It was a direct and easy case. I first put this So you will orientate it to the hernia. And the second case will be a heart case.
By thicker.
As you see, this is done first at the upper part of the mesh. And then when the mesh is positioned, he will find the cooper and fix it. If he does the cooper first, it may be short. This is the cooper. He finds the cooper and palpates it, and
I'm not smart there. But I have
It's mandatory to fix. It's mandatory.
most of the authors believe it is mandatory. Yes. But there are some who do not do it, and they report that you have acceptable recurrence rates. But most surgeons fix it. It may be by catheter, or some may be good with glue, fibrin glue. But some form of fixation should be done.
We
It's
saw
small number of surgeons
Dr.
never fix.
we saw Dr. Wahid buy tape, not fix it. Put buy tape.
It's acceptable, but most surgeons would do some form of fixation. And as you see, he chose to fix the mesh or tackle. It is quicker, but it is more expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are ready, we can go to the other video.
Yes. Yes.
The other video is this one. The other video is an indirect hernia. It is more difficult, and there is a special maneuver that I want to stress on. The key to indirect hernia is a maneuver which we will see in this video.
Sorry, this is a shortcut, not work.
It does not work.
Yes, shortcut.
It's a shortcut.
Do you have the original copy? This shortcut.
The original copy. Maybe in
The laptop.
maybe in maybe in this.
مرحلة لازم فيها واحد.
لا هي النسبة